6 months into the pregnancy, Caden fell in love with someone else. Right under my nose he kept a fresh, pretty college girl, kissing her on late-night streets as if they could never get enough. When I caught him, he only looked calmly at my swollen belly. "Serena, I can't feel the heat we used to have. I'm human, I have needs." I didn't scream. The instant I asked for a divorce I saw the flash of secret delight in the girl's eyes. What she didn't know was that Caden couldn't live without me. I was certain he'd come begging before long. But a man now filthy? I would never take him back. I discovered the cheating by pure chance. That weekend the city finally saw a rare, cloudless day. Caden got up late. As he rushed out he tossed over his shoulder, "Sam, don't wait up tonight." Mrs. Housekeeper swallowed the words on her tongue, then looked at me hesitatingly. I only smiled and asked her to fetch a throw blanket. She plucked stray hairs from the cashmere, indignation creeping into her voice. "Ma'am, the master forgot again, today's your prenatal checkup. Going alone, big as you are, just isn't right." I started to say the private hospital service would smooth everything, but a glint of golden hair caught my eye and my sentence changed to, "When was this blanket last washed?" Startled, she answered, "The weather turned chilly last night, the master pulled it fresh from the closet." I gave a soft laugh. "Your grandson is still sick, go to him." The moment she left I stuffed the throw into the trash. I called a bodyguard and had Uncle drive me to the clinic. Uncle had chauffeured the Vance family since my girlhood, his driving was silk smooth. Yet at a light, a red Audi R8 roared out of a side street and slammed into us. Uncle braked in time, but the jolt threw me forward. Instinctively I cradled my belly. He jumped out to negotiate. From the Audi stepped a designer-clad girl, radiant with youth. In the blazing sun her trendy golden curls blazed back. My fingers froze on the window switch as I lowered it halfway. In a sweet, lilting voice she complained into her phone. "Just got my license and already a crash, how unlucky." Whoever was on the line must have soothed her. She stamped daintily. "Fine, forgive me for being late tonight. To make it up I'll wear that bunny set you love, Caden." Caden. My blood ran backward. I felt nailed to the seat, heart spasming. Tiny clues I'd ignored suddenly sharpened into focus. At that moment I knew, clearly and coldly, Caden was cheating. I almost flung the door open, but the red Audi flicked a memory, a $300,000 charge on his account last month. When I'd asked, he'd said a favor warrant advance expensive thank you gift. I'd teased, "Man or woman? Why didn't you consult me?" His face had darkened. "You wouldn't know them." A neat answer, yet full of holes. After 10 years I knew every soul in our circle. Who merited 300 grand and stayed a stranger? Trust stopped me from pushing further. Now I realized he'd simply funneled our money to the other. I'm not easily fooled, Caden would cover most tracks. I signaled Uncle to demand the owner's papers. Sure enough, I suspected the sports car was still titled to my husband. I got out early, sent our SUV to a body shop, and settled into a cafe with a clear view of the street. Caden appeared sooner than I'd expected, but when he spotted Uncle beside the Audi he backed away. I watched, coldly amused, as he ducked into Vance's alcove to spin lies over the phone. Eventually a crisply suited man stepped forward to settle damages. Caden's newly hired male assistant, someone I'd met once. I'd seen enough. I called Uncle, "Take the money and leave." I was sure I'd never laid eyes on the girl, yet something nagged. After my appointment I had Uncle drive straight to another manor we owned. My current home lay in the city's most prestigious enclave. The family had bought this second property for me years ago. A painful memory kept me away after marriage, never dreaming it would become my husband's love nest under my very nose. Inside, feminine clutter smothered every surface. How sure he must feel, to hide her here. Or did he believe the safest hideout was the most obvious? No wonder she looked familiar, we were practically neighbors. The passcode was still my birthday. I walked in unchallenged. On the sprawling sofa lay lacy intimates carelessly discarded. I pictured nights he'd called to say he was working late, then twisted in these cushions with her, and nausea rose. I touched nothing, photographed everything, and slipped out. I ordered a background check. The dossier that landed in my inbox made my stomach knot. The affair had begun months earlier, right under my nose. Around 3 months ago my morning sickness had been brutal and my temper short. New to fatherhood, Caden fretted nightly over how to lull me to sleep. One midnight I woke smothered beneath his heavy arm, panicked for the baby, and screamed at him. The next day he moved to the guest room. Perhaps lonely, perhaps bored, he began looking for distraction. First casual bar trips, then one drunken drive landed him near Riverside University. It was Mistress and Chloe stood on the curb hawking armfuls of roses. Like every cliché, he bought a bouquet. Then, studying her, he set it back. Not pretty enough? She'd asked. He gave a bitter smile. No, my wife is just old. She's not beautiful like you. Flattered, she'd beamed. Life's short, if you're bored, find new fun. So Chloe moved into my manor. I couldn't decide whether to mock his stinginess or his boldness, keeping his girl in his wife's house. And she, evidently, didn't mind. Caden returned the next noon. I was spooning sweet chicken and millet porridge when he nuzzled me, grumbling that his new assistant was hopeless and the morning exhausting. Mrs. Housekeeper set a bowl before him. He ate with measured grace. I tilted my head. How does the porridge compare to the bunny costume? His spoon stopped midair. The room froze. He was too sharp not to know why I was laying cards on the table. I spread the photos I'd compiled: bar, sidewalk, diner, and bed. Only now did Caden's face tighten with real panic. Good, so Chloe had told him nothing. While they were at dinner, I invented Vance's emergency at the office and had my secretary page him back to Sterling Vance. I braced one hand against the small of my back and tracked Chloe to a boutique on Fifth. It was some classmate's birthday, and she was magnanimously offering to buy the girl any bag she wanted. I clamped my fingers around the black card in her hand. Casey, I have evidence that you've been stealing. Chloe's cheeks flamed. Desperate not to lose face in front of her classmate, she started to protest, then her gaze dropped to my swollen belly and the color drained away. Surprised? Every dollar you swipe with my husband's card is community property. I can sue you right now. I'm not going to yank your hair like some fishwife, but if you don't want this to get uglier, stop here. She obviously hadn't listened. Last night she'd been even more brazen, practically performing for me, but the man who should have been panicking was now glaring in pure rage. You investigated us? She's still a student, don't you dare hurt her. My eyes went arctic. I didn't bother answering. I simply opened the video on my phone. They'd never developed the habit of taking things to the bedroom, and they hadn't noticed I'd fixed the living room nanny cam. He didn't need to watch. The filth pouring from the speaker made him drop his gaze. You're worried about her getting hurt, but you forgot. I have a heart too, and it's breaking. A long silence, then a ragged exhale. When he finally looked at me, his eyes were almost cruel. Serena, I haven't really wronged you. His peripheral vision caught my heavy belly and he jerked away as if it repulsed him. I don't feel the thrill we had anymore. I'm only human, I have needs. So he found a woman who could meet them. A lousy excuse, yet true. Alex, I asked him, are you looking forward to this baby or not? He gave a mocking laugh, thought it over. I am. I want a child that carries our blood. I just don't want to see you like this. I drew a calm breath, feeling the flutter inside me that said the life was still fighting. Caden, let's divorce. His brows snapped together for Vance's instant, then he swept the porcelain bowl off the table. The crash screamed through the room, shards flying, a sliver opening a scarlet line across my forearm. Mrs. Housekeeper shrieked and lunged forward. Sir, this pregnancy was hard one. Whatever it is, wait until the baby's born. She froze under Caden's razor stare. I pressed my palm to the cut and suddenly remembered the boy who used to lose sleep if I scalded a finger. Back then I'd walked out on my family for the penniless kid I loved. The pampered princess who'd never touched raw meat found herself simmering broth in a stifling studio. I followed Vance's online recipe, miraculously got the whole pot right, then spilled at the moment he walked in from work. He'd grabbed my scalded fingers, cursing himself. Serena, I'm worthless, making you suffer like this. All night he held my hand, afraid I'd vanish. I was never the idle type. Elite schooling had taught me survival means self-reliance. Alex, I stormed back into the arena, outworking Caden until I was the executive no one dared cross. After that he never let me near a stove. Sometimes I came home at 2 a.m. and found him cooking late-night snacks for me, solid muscles moving under Vance's old t-shirt. I used to think we could keep that life, business thriving, name respected, my spine finally straight after every family attempt to break it. Then I got pregnant. We fought like never before. He wanted me home on bed rest order. I said Sterling Vance was my blood and my armor. He began vanishing for weeks, client trips. When I called, his tired voice carried disappointment. Serena, I didn't think our marriage meant so little. I'm trying to build us a home, but you're still using me to spite your family. I heard you ask the doctor about termination. If that's your choice, I'll respect it. Caden was the only man I'd ever loved. Add hormones and I caved. The same night I begged forgiveness he flew back with dew-drenched red roses. Serena, trust me, Sterling Vance will run, and I'll guard you and our child forever. Now. I stared at the cold stranger folding his arms. Once love's tide rolled out, every jagged rock surfaced. Serena, has pregnancy fried your brain? Walk out and the Vance door is close to you. His sneer said it all. You're just a stay-home matron now, worthless without me. I knew Caden well enough to brace for a siege. When the insults didn't sting, he turned vicious. Can you drop the righteous act? Men at our level keep women on the side. He sighed, playing reasonable. Times have changed, Serena. Adjust. I promise, just this once. After you deliver and get your body back, I'll, smack. My answer bloomed crimson across his cheek. He left that instant, didn't even pack a change of clothes, simply moved into Sterling Vance headquarters. I stayed unruffled, prenatal checkups on schedule, leisurely garden walks when I felt like it. I handed my lawyer every scrap of proof of Caden's cheating and had the clean break divorce papers delivered. He rejected them without blinking. Serena, have you no conscience? I poured my life into Sterling Vance. Why should I end up with nothing? I lifted Vance's indifferent brow. Why should the guilty keep the spoils? You're not left with nothing, you still have Chloe and your great love. Surely you can rebuild with her. Consider this petty cash your compensation to me and the baby. I tossed him a bound printout of their chat logs. She says you hate the ugly stretch-marked wreck I've become, that her young body delights you, and you wish I'd disappear. She's even willing to stay childless for you. How noble. Marry her, sign the papers, and I'll spare you a public lawsuit. Caden stormed out. The joke was on me. I never noticed when Chloe slipped into my WhatsApp contacts. She bombarded me with their selfies to force my hand, revealing Caden, CEO of 3 public companies, sneaking into Riverside lecture halls wearing a tragically youthful polo just to watch his little girlfriend glow. Or maybe he'd rather leave the Bentley in the garage and pound the pavement with this chattering little co-ed, just to hear her voice bounce off the storefronts. Had Caden ever done anything like that for me when we first got together? Too many years had blurred the details, I couldn't remember. Either he was shameless or he wanted Chloe parked under my nose like a neon slap, because every time I left for a prenatal checkup I found her lounging against that flaming red Audi, grinning like she'd won the lottery. Pretty. A different kind of pretty, sun-kissed, still wet from lecture. No wonder he was addicted. I, Serena, narrowed my eyes against the glare. I turned to Uncle. It looks like we're missing a $100,000 Audi from the garage, I said. Report it lost, and press charges if you have to. Uncle hesitated, then cleared his throat. Should I repo the manor while we're at it? Title's still in the Vance Trust. I waved him off. Not yet. My gut said the next act was worth the price of admission. Uncle had driven me since my debutante days. He treated me like the daughter he never had and had been itching to punish Caden's treachery. He moved fast. I just didn't expect Caden to storm the hospital, fire in his eyes, demanding answers. The moment the precinct phoned her, Chloe skipped classes and threw a tearstorm in the Sterling Vance lobby. Caden prized the company's image above everything, only to watch his docile little girlfriend detonate the scandal herself. Fury aside, he still white-knighted her out of the mess, but the internet age doesn't grant pardons. The trending tab pinned CEO cheats with co-ed at the top for days. Netizens, bored and ravenous, excavated their entire timeline from Chloe's feed, the dewy undergrad, the handsome billionaire, the very pregnant wife, perfect gossip gumbo. Every unfiltered selfie she'd ever posted became Exhibit A. Whispers and pointing fingers trailed her across campus. She started skipping lectures, barricading herself in her apartment, even talking suicide. And I, bloodless, blade-free, looked like the victor. Naturally, Caden decided I'd orchestrated the whole circus. Serena, I didn't know you could be this vicious, he growled, eyes so red they looked smoked. Do you even understand what online crucifixion does to someone? If she hurts herself, could you live with it? I lifted a lazy lid, slid the sonogram back into my bag, then glanced at the woman half hidden behind him, fragile, trembling, picture-perfect wreck. I held her gaze until she squirmed. Did someone else post those thirst traps for you? Did I twist your arm into playing the other? Each question bleached her face another shade. Her fingers unclenched from Caden's jacket, she swayed. In the hush that followed, she dipped her head and rammed toward the wall. Caden yanked her back, cradling her like blown glass. Chloe, don't, baby, I'm here. I'll fix everything. She tilted her moonbright face, tears stringing loose. Promise, Caden. lie to me and I swear I'll die for real. He almost crushed her to his chest, palm sealing her head. Never. My heart hasn't beat like this in years. I've chosen you, I'm not letting go. Chloe sobbed and smiled at once. I watched their unapologetic soap opera and felt the last shard of my past collapse. I closed my eyes. The boy who once saw only me was long dead. Mercifully, I'm cold and quick. Once love flatlines, walking away is simple, but love blinds, strip the haze and you see the ice beneath. In that split second before Caden wrenched her back, only I noticed Chloe's angle. Her suicide had been aimed full force at my belly. He cared for one woman now, even though his blood grew inside me. Some switch flipped again. Chloe chomped on his arm like a feral kitten. It's all fake. Caden, Simon, just leave me. I'm the other everyone spits on. I don't deserve you. He squeezed tighter, taking every bite, voice syrupy with devotion. No, Chloe. You're not the other. You're the miracle I never saw coming. If we love each other, you're nobody's other. Then he turned the chill on me. Serena, I agree to the divorce. I wasn't surprised. The moment the word left his mouth, her eyes sparked with secret triumph. I'd seen enough. My attorney would handle everything from here. Once the ring was official, Chloe doubled the volume. Ignoring the digital tar and feathering, she posted, "Innocent man, Jade Burden." Jamie, keep going. Love diary entries kept coming. A tiny clump of netizens even cheered her on. Sterling Vance faced the worst PR swamp in its history, and Caden still mopped up behind her until he looked half mummified. My belly swelled, movement became choreography. Pretending indifference was impossible. The stress finally knocked me into a hospital bed for more than a month of mandatory bed rest order. The divorce papers sailed through. We chose a random Tuesday to sign the decree. Caden glanced at my swollen ankles and looked away. When you asked for this divorce, you should have terminated the pregnancy. You didn't have to torture yourself just to squeeze out my pity. Are you happy with the ending you wrote? I snorted, hand sliding protectively over my bump. This child is mine. No deadbeat father gets to veto a heartbeat. I was still framing Vance's answer when a lark-like figure bounded in. Da-da-da, congrats, Mr. Vance, you're free. Long live liberty. Caden tapped her nose, then slipped a diamond onto her fourth finger. Out of one grave, into a love nest. Chloe, marry me? She froze, mouth open. No way, this is way too rushed. I'm old school, wait till I graduate. Their voices faded downstream. I swiped at my eyes, suddenly remembering, love without money is a sandcastle, no wind required, gravity will do. Hard to downgrade from couture to coupons. We'll see how long their romance survives the austerity diet. The rest of my pregnancy passed in relative calm, until Chloe's name resurfaced sooner than expected. The West Riverdale Manor Association rang to report erratic utilities and midnight noise disturbing the neighbors on my ledger. I owned too many keys. It took a beat before I realized which manor they meant, the one where Caden had once feathered his songbird under my nose. I told the manager I'd drive out quietly and asked him to keep it off record for now. The moment I hung up, I opened the cloud camera feed. The entire frame pulsed with drunken laughter, boys and girls stacked on sectional sofas, music ricocheting off marble, Vance all-night parade. As soon as Caden and I finished carving up the assets, I heard he'd taken Chloe to a luxury flat near Sterling Vance headquarters and moved out of the manor for good. I stared at the woman flaunting herself on my screen and called Uncle over. When I finished explaining, he slapped his forehead. I already told Caden to return the manor's access card, but with everything crazy at work it slipped my mind. I'll handle it right now. I stopped him. I needed to pick up a few things anyway, and I was curious to see just how thick Chloe's skin could be. Unlike the flashy crowd from a few nights ago, the people gathered at the manor today looked almost respectable. From their clothes, they were still undergrads. Chloe, did President Caden really buy this place for you? It's insane. Chloe's voice floated out, loud and proud. Of course. Caden spoils me rotten. He promised that once we're married everything, this manor included, will be in my name. A chorus of wows erupted. I didn't have to look to know her ego was ballooning. Chloe, why didn't you tell us sooner? The department's trying to book a venue for graduation bash. Save us the search and let us use this place. Yeah, none of us have ever been inside a mansion. Let us live vicariously. Oh, stop sounding like peasants. Our girl's about to be a trophy wife, what's one little manner? By the way, Chloe, whatever happened to that red Audi you used to drive? Haven't seen it in ages. Silence. I snorted. The car had already been returned to me. I sold it for a song rather than keep the reminder. Looks like Caden never told her that our divorce cost him practically his entire fortune. The flat he bought near campus is nice, but it doesn't compare to this West Riverdale showpiece, and everyone knows it. Chloe's tone turned brittle. Don't be pathetic. It's not that I'm stingy, but with so many classmates running around, do you have any idea what the upkeep on this place costs? The crowd deflated but didn't dare push. Perfect timing, I stepped inside. The instant Chloe saw me, she panicked. A girl beside her tugged her sleeve. Who is she, a relative of yours? I swept my gaze across the room, then pinned Chloe with a smile. Kid, didn't your mother ever teach you to knock before you walk into someone else's house? Everyone looked baffled, only Chloe reacted, leaping up. Serena, how dare you show your face? Caden divorced you. He doesn't love you anymore, and that bastard in your belly won't drag him back. Whispers broke out. Compared with the tabloid fodder of Caden and Chloe, I was Vance Enigma. One blunt soul muttered, Chloe, the ex-wife isn't some washed-up frump. She's stunning. One glare from Chloe and the girl shut up. I don't want to see you. Get out. Out? I exhaled softly. This is my house. Who exactly is leaving? Chloe's eyes bulged. Impossible. The settlement gave him this manner. I settled onto the sofa, composed. Ellis, check your facts. Caden walked away with nothing. Surprised he forgot to mention that? Titters rippled through the room, a few people outright laughed. Chloe's face cycled through every shade of mortification. She dialed Caden, the faltering voice on the other end told her everything she needed to know. Still, she glared at me, lips twisted. Save the lies. When Caden arrives, we'll see who's right. I brushed imaginary dust from my skirt and stood. No need. You two can compare notes at the police station. The rest of you are merely trespassing, but since she's so loyal, I'll press charges against her alone. Because I refused to drop the complaint, even Caden couldn't fix it. Chloe spent 10 days in lockup and paid a heavy fine. Right before graduation, I mailed Riverside University a tidy dossier documenting her extracurricular activities. They slapped her with a disciplinary mark that went on her permanent record and placed her on academic probation for a year. When Caden heard, he phoned to rage about my pettiness. I let his voice blur into white noise while I focused on bringing my baby safely into the world. Then the Vance family reached out. My older brother, Simon, now head of the conglomerate. Serena, it's been too long. Come home. I hung up. Family? The day that other drove our mother to her grave inside this very manor, and Simon called the woman mom for the sake of a board seat, I stopped having one. Back then Caden had carried me through the darkness, now I knew I could raise my child without him. The delivery was brutal, hours of labor ending in Vance's emergency C-section, bordering on hemorrhage, but we made it. Staring at daughter's peaceful face filled the hollow space I'd carried for years. I never expected Simon to visit during my postpartum confinement. After cooing over the baby, he got to the point. You're divorced. Bring the child back. The Vances are your safety net. I lifted my chin. I don't need anyone. Daughter and I will do just fine on our own. He sighed. Still stubborn. I remembered him saying the same ages ago, before our father paraded his mistress through the house and our mother withered away. Mom had tried to referee our sibling wars by reminding us the empire would one day be ours. She didn't know Dad intended to devour it whole. After she died, the other presided over her funeral in full matriarch mode. I fought past every relative, stormed into Dad's study, and Simon blocked me. When I begged him not to side with the enemy, he whispered, Serena, bide your time, then turned and called her mother. Betrayed, I exploded, earned a slap from Dad, and cut ties. Simon tracked me down repeatedly. You don't have to fight alone. Older can shield you. I didn't listen then, I don't now. Before leaving he changed the subject. Has the little imp got a name yet? I'd leafed through dictionaries the entire final month and found nothing perfect. Annabelle, first and middle. She'll carry the Vance generational name. He left without another word. I recovered fast. The day my confinement ended, I began reclaiming chunks of Sterling Vance. A reliable Mrs. Housekeeper watched daughter, Vance Angel, who ate and slept and rarely cried. On my first official morning back, I collided with Caden and Chloe in the executive corridor. She had failed to graduate, possessed no marketable skills, and had slunk to HR begging for a job. Caden parked her as his intern secretary, right under his nose. I pushed open the president's door to find Chloe perched on his lap, feeding him grapes. She didn't even stand when I walked in. I gave a light cough. Sterling Vance policy is crystal clear. Personal business on company time means a pay cut. Chloe exploded. What's it to you? It's not like you're the only owner. Only after the words left her mouth did she catch sight of Caden's ashen face and realize her slip. Maybe not before, but right now the company is mine alone. Caden keeps insisting he poured his heart into Sterling Vance, so, call it generosity, I've let him stay on as the high and mighty President Caden. After all, nobody says no to money, and having a capable executive on the payroll saves me a mountain of headaches. You could have given me a heads up, Caden said, brows knit. I lifted a shoulder. Your little girlfriend just reminded us all that Sterling Vance belongs to me. I don't need to file a flight plan to visit my own building. Chloe broke the rules. Docking her pay is simply policy. Chloe sputtered, Caden, without you this place would have crashed. How can you let a talentless woman order you around? I didn't bother getting angry. Caden's face changed in Vance's instant, and he ushered Chloe out. He massaged his temples wearily. Fine, what do you want? I laid the folder on his desk. 3 days. I want a pitch deck from the president's office. Caden flipped through a few pages and snapped, you've lost your mind. Right now we cut costs and boost efficiency, not launch some whim-driven side hustle. I smiled, unbothered. Caden, in all the years you've known me, have you ever seen me make a bad call? Employees need employee mindsets. Don't snarl at your boss, work more, ask less. While every department spun in frantic circles, Chloe stuck out like a sore thumb. She'd been parked at grunt work, simple, error-proof. The coworkers knew her limits, nothing important ever touched her desk. Chloe felt belittled, yet couldn't wedge herself into any real task, so she fumed in place. At the regular morning meeting she collided with Caden in the doorway, phone tripod in hand, lens trained on his exhausted, still handsome, face. Say you love me, hubby. With nothing better to do, Chloe had turned herself into a romance influencer, broadcasting clips all day. Caden had pulled Vance all-nighter and could barely stand, let alone play sweethearts. He pushed the camera away, cut it out. Chloe's gaze flicked between me and Caden, tears pooling. You're sick of me, admit it. You think I'm useless. Everyone keeps me in the dark, I'm done being trash-talked. I'll leave, give you space. Panicking, Caden dabbed her tears, coddling her so long the meeting started late. The coworkers barely blinked, clearly not the first episode. To prove Chloe mattered, Caden transferred some of the chief of staff duties to her, calling it on-the-job training. I said nothing. For the firm's health I give staff latitude, but if they trip, I swing the axe. And no surprise, Chloe's talent is chaos. 1 minute she's spilling coffee on documents, the next she's shoving her phone in a client's face. I docked her a month's pay without blinking. She whined to Caden until he caved and promised another purse. Poor millionaire CEO, his salary can't keep up with her shopping list. But you picked her, so you pay the toll. I watched cheerfully. Keep this up, President Caden, and you'll be living paycheck to paycheck. His face turned coal-black. He squirmed. I felt lighter than air. Days flew. Daughter grew bigger by the hour, and the project neared completion. The coworkers were pumped. Sterling Vance's expansion hung on this deal. No one wanted to screw up, so every step was triple-checked. Yet trouble struck anyway. Streaming one afternoon, Chloe flashed Vance's urgent document that should have been in my office, spread open on the breakroom counter. Trade secrets landed in our rival's lap. My people sleuthed around. The competitor had already written the bid off until this gift landed. They stayed mum, ready to ambush us at the final pitch. Morale crashed, vacation plans, bonuses, sleepless weeks all looked dead. I rolled out the backup plan myself, crawled to the partner, apologized, and begged another shot. Our sincerity and prep paid off, we won. Then I took a long, hard vacation. But I didn't forget the reckoning. I sued Caden and Chloe for corporate espionage. Turns out Chloe had taken kickbacks from the rival in Caden's name, and the breakroom leak was no accident. Both were sentenced to 3 years. After the verdict, Simon texted me photos, one young woman, one older. Chloe and the woman who killed our mother. I gave a cold laugh. Figures Vance's other sponsored student would be Poison. Simon added, the rival firm? Same witch backing them. She hid deep, desperate to ruin us. Let's see if she's strong enough, I said. As I hung up he added, Serena, my footing in Vance Holdings is solid now. The family assets are safe from the vultures. Bring Annabelle home. I didn't answer, yet I didn't refuse either. Time chips away at denial. I finally saw what I'd refused to see. Simon swallowed humiliation for years, greeting his mother's murderer as mom. I understood him now. I dismantled the competitor at lightspeed. The woman lost every foothold in the Vance family. Simon had her locked in a sanitarium to live out her days. Our father, long absent, sat senile in a wheelchair, bibs soaked with drool. Annabelle shot up fast, my face, pure Vance stubbornness. Now she skips through first grade like a carefree sprite. I lost track of Caden until he materialized at the school gate. He stared, spellbound, at Annabelle. She's yours, I can tell, even though she looks like you. I signaled Uncle to take her to the car. Father and daughter never shared a glance. You dare claim her? I raised her untouched by shadows. In her heart her father is decent and anonymous, you are neither. Don't come near us again. Hurt flooded his eyes. There's no road back? I walked away. Ahead lay the people I love and who love me. When I spotted that bright, dappled little girl, I understood what makes life worth it. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate today's story? If you liked the video, like and share it with friends. We're eager to read your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.